Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock in the evening, and it's Let's Talk time. And it's really lovely to be back with you again. The temperature's very different to last week, isn't it? Because it was roasting hot last week. But hey, it's refreshing this week, and it's just as good for us. Okay, so this is a new series of hi Lizette, lovely to see you. And so this is a new series of Let's Talk called Normal. Okay, and it's spread over 6 weeks. So we're dealing today with hi Nick, lovely to see you, with Name That Feeling. Okay, so why is it so important to name that feeling? Okay. Well, we need to go back a little bit really, because when we are feeling desperate, when our anxiety and stress levels are way through the roof, or we're in the doldrums, in the bottom of our change curve, it's really, really important to start thinking about exactly what your thoughts are and your feelings are, because then you will be able to understand them a little bit better. So it's about trying to steer away from, oh, I feel so bad, oh, I feel shit, nothing ever works well for me, everything always goes wrong for me, it's all my fault, or it's always somebody else's fault. And really thinking about what you're feeling is a great way of concentrating the mind and starting to notice exactly what you're feeling and how you're feeling it, so that you can start to work through it. So is that feeling really shit? Well, it probably is, because that's how you're feeling. But is it that you are angry? Is it that you are frustrated? Is it that you are overly worried about something? But the reason why we get those feelings is because something has happened. All right, something's happened to you or in your life to trigger those feelings. Okay, now it's okay to have these feelings, because at the end of the day, they are just feelings. They're not a fact. Okay, and they will change. But what you've got to do is try and remember to think about what those feelings are. And this is the difficult bit, isn't it? Because when we're in the cycle of that downness, when we're in that cycle of feeling so desperate, it's difficult to see a way around it. Okay, because we get so caught up in our own feelings and with our own self. It's difficult to sit back, step back from it, and look at it from the outside, so you can start to analyse it a little bit. So what is it, do you think, that makes you struggle with your feelings? Okay, so some of it is about, maybe, is about not being able to be honest with yourself. Okay, because it is difficult. I know, I've been there, I've done it, I've felt really, really desperate in the past. And so I'm talking from experience here. And it's difficult to start being honest with yourself about your feelings, because one, it's hard work. Two, it's very emotional. Three, it's just difficult to be able to be totally honest with yourself. I mean, it's difficult enough to be honest with other people, but actually it's even more difficult to be honest with yourself, because you are then being accountable for, to yourself, about yourself. Hi Lizette, thanks for popping this up. it's Lisette says it's looking from a solving problem side instead of the searching for new solutions. That's my opinion. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I'm going to go on to. So thanks for bringing that up. That's what I'm going to go on to as we go through the normal process that I'm sharing with you over the 6 weeks. Because to be able to solve it, we've got to start searching for what that is about. Okay, what that feeling is about. Because if you don't start looking at what that feeling is about, then how are you going to know how to move forward through it? Okay, so a great thing to do actually is to set yourself up like a little chart. I know this is sounding very, very sort of clinical, but it means that you can go back to it, okay, at a later date and look at it, okay. So if you set yourself up a little chart with the date on, with your feeling, and starting to think about why you're feeling it, okay, because next week we're going to be looking at observing it. All right, observing that feeling, and then you can carry that on. And then it means that if you've got it written down, you can go back to it and sort of start to see the process, perhaps to start seeing how regular these feelings are coming through to you, so that you're more aware. That's what it's about. It's being more aware of your feelings and your thought processes, because what we want to do is to start changing our feelings and our thought processes so that we can start changing our behavior, because you know our thoughts and our feelings affect our behavior, so that we have better outcomes in our life, have better relationships, whether that's personal relationships, work relationships, and be able to manage ourselves more effectively so that we can get the outcomes that we want, rather than feeling as if we're muddling through. All right, because when we talk about feelings, everybody's feelings are going to be different, and they're going to be at different intensities. And a lot of the time when we're feeling so desperate, we are losing our sort of perception of what is normal, because we'll start thinking, maybe you'll start thinking, I just wish I felt normal again. Okay, and why is it that everybody else is normal and I'm not normal? Okay, and so this is what's really, really important. But for you, for working out your feelings, it's about concentrating on yourself and not worrying unduly about what other people are thinking and feeling, because this is about you. If you can start changing you to get back to your normal that you recognize and you feel good about, then you're going to be in a better position to move forward. Okay, so I don't know whether there are any more questions that want to be posed here, but what we're going to be doing is next week, so we're going to be doing observing it. R is going to be about realistic, so that's about realistic perceptions of yourself and of other people. M is going to be about motivation or motionless. A is going to be about accountability, and L is going to be about living it, because what we want to move on to is actually living our normal and being able to recognize when we're going off the balance, okay, and then being able to recognize it so that you can do something about it. Because if you don't recognize when you're going off normal, how are you going to know that you need to start kicking in some tools and techniques to be able to manage it? So another short and sweet session, and don't forget, if anybody wants to make the most of a free 20-minute phone consultation so that you can start discussing things in a little bit more depth with me, or just start finding out how you could start making some changes to your normal, or to your feelings of not being normal so you can be more normal, then just please leave me a message or send me a message and I will contact you and we can arrange something. So I'm going to love you and leave you for this evening. Have a great evening, and I look forward to speaking to you next week for O for Observe It. Have a great evening. Bye bye.